Hello everyone! As you know, I've been doing a lot of gouache paintings lately, practicing on my landscapes particularly, and I'm really having a blast. I've been checking out tutorials on YouTube and practicing, and it gave me an idea for a fun new project. But for that, I needed a clean palette, and as you can tell, I had used up a lot of ceramic palettes, and before I cleaned them, I just wanted to make one painting to try to use up at least some of the colors of my palettes before I just threw them all away. Not the palettes, the paints, cleaning them. So I went on Pixabay again and found a photo that I liked, something not too complicated, hopefully, and I tried to pick the colors from all the different palettes that I had already. My goal was to not add any paint to any of these palettes. So I put them all on my table all around me. I used a tiny little spritzer bottle to spray all the paint and try to reactivate the gouache. And while this was reactivating, I taped the border of my paper. And as you can see, I always just put the piece of tape on my hand and arm and then rip it off and then put it on again until it's not as tacky, so that when I remove it from my paper, it doesn't rip off the paper as well. And then I started sketching really loosely, really quick. I didn't push very hard on my pencil, and I erased most of it to make sure that I wouldn't see through the gouache. Although I had planned on using thick gouache anyway, but you just never know. Also, because the format of the paper was slightly different than the format of the photo, I had to readjust a bit so it doesn't look quite like the photo. But that's what artists do. They make do with what they have and adjust depending on their needs. You're free to edit a photo and paint whatever you want on this photo. You don't have to paint everything, or you can add stuff also. So anyway, I started painting the sky, because when you paint landscapes in gouache, you usually paint from the back all the way to the front. And I must say I struggled a bit because my mix of paints was too watery and I didn't get the effect that I wanted. That's something I'm still struggling with, is to find the right ratio of water with my paint so that it's not too liquid or not too thick. So I played with the sky for a while until I felt it was okay, and then I decided to just let it dry and see what it would look like, because there's always a shift of colors once the paint is dry. So I let it be for a bit, and then I started working on the mountain in the background. And then I put the green down on the hill. Now right away I realized that green was just not the kind of green that I needed. But I thought it would be okay because it would be just the first layer, and then it would show through some of my shadows. So I let all that dry, because when you use gouache, if you're gonna build up layers, it's always nice to let your first layers dry so that they don't mix as much with your new layers. While the hill was drying, I decided to work on the sky again, and I added some more white to my colors, and I found a good mix that I liked, and I was much happier with my sky by then. It actually looks very much like the photo. The colors are that bright. So I was pretty proud of that sky, that I was able to make it look just like the photo. And then I did the pine trees on the left, and then it was time to add the tree on top of the hill. Now I'm pretty bad at drawing trees and painting trees. That's my bad. I need to practice more, but yeah, I'm okay. I really try to follow what it looked like on the reference photo, and it kind of looks like it in a way, but it could have been a lot nicer. My paintbrush was definitely too thick, even though it's really tiny, to render those tiny little branches at the extremity of the big branches. It doesn't look as fine and pretty as the tree on the photo, but that's okay. It's just a practice painting. Once that was done, it was time to finish working on the hill. So I pushed and pulled the paint, adding some highlights, adding some shadows, and just played with that until I got a result that I liked. That's the great thing with gouache, is that you can put dark colors on top of light colors and light colors on top of dark colors. It's very flexible. In the end, I liked this painting. The only thing that I would do to change it would be to change the green that I used on the hill. It should have been a lot warmer. This one is too cool and it doesn't fit really with a sunset scene. So yeah, I would change that. But other than that, I thought it was a fun practice painting. And now I can go clean my palettes and work on my fun new project. And that project you'll see in the next video. Thank you all for stopping by. I hope you liked this demo. I'll make more in the future. Let me know if you like them. Hopefully I'll get better and paint better landscapes. That's always been one of my pet peeves. I never liked painting landscapes because I never knew what to paint. I'm so much into details that it always scared me. But painting with gouache like this made me realize that I really don't have to paint all the details. I can just give ideas of the elements in the painting and still make something coherent. And that's what I really like it. I find it relaxing and not as stressful as if I had to add all the details. Thank you all for stopping by. Have a wonderful day and I'll see you soon with another video. Bye bye.